Hello Intuitors, it's Aria here. Welcome back to the Intuit Cafe, or as I have renamed it, the Intuit Oracle. I am really excited to bring you another week's worth of readings by sign of the zodiac. I'll be diving right into that in a moment. This will be the same introduction on every video, so if you watch or cross-watch for your moon or rising or Venus signs, or for maybe that partner's sign, you can go ahead and skip forward to the start of the reading. And I just wanted to give a little bit of an update about what's going on with the cards. In case you're new to the channel, the project I just completed, creating my own set of Oracle cards, which really is kind of a intermediate step in the process of my ultimate goal, which truly is to be bringing to everyone some kind of useful tools and ways that they can utilize to tap into their own intuition. And of course, Oracle cards are a really good way to do that with what you can feel inside of you the cards are trying to say to you, when it's not the cards actually, it's your higher self. You're tapping into your higher knowing and the knowing of your higher mind. But the thing and the reason that I believe cards as an intuitive tool works is because all they're doing is they're tricking our conscious mind into kind of taking a back seat and not imposing on our consciousness, on our conscious thought, what it thinks. Because our conscious mind, which I call the planetary mind, it's filled with all kinds of programming and preconceived ideas, and it is not tapped into that higher knowing. And if we want to deliberately tap into our higher knowing, we have to transcend the planetary mind, the ego mind, whatever you want to call it. And the cards are a way of helping us do that, or any kind of intuitive tool actually is a way of helping us do that. And again, I've said this before, but I want to reiterate that I also believe that anyone who goes to YouTube and watches readers such as myself or other readers on YouTube, you're still actually tapping into your own intuitive knowing. And that's the reason that general readings actually work, is because for one, I do believe that energetically it's a very fluid way for the universe to interact with us and send us messages. So, you know, for example, we can be prompted in just some little voice or just urge that's like, you know, I just want to go on YouTube right now and check if, you know, readings. And you just happen to go to one person's reading, and maybe you watch your moon sign and you normally watch your sun sign. So like, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're being guided along the way to see the reading that was really meant for you. And even when you're watching it, then you also are still picking and choosing the parts that resonate and the parts that don't. I always get better, more specific, and even greater detailed readings for people that I do individual readings for. It's always harder to read for ourselves than it is for someone else because of our planetary mind jumping in and wanting to say, no, that's not it, or even just not seeing things. Our planetary mind does get in the way. So ultimately, my goal is to create and develop and launch different intuitive tools. These cards are just a stepping stone. I've already gone through the entire process of developing a really kick-ass app for tarot, and I'm going to use Lenormand in it, and really my plan eventually would be possibly to do a lot of different kinds of intuitive tools, Oracle cards or whatever, all in this app. I have a way of delivering and helping people create their own messages in that app that's not like any other app out there. I'm super excited about it, but I had to completely shelve the project because I got to a certain point where it was developed and then I couldn't go any further without more money. And I was doing a channeling session with a very close friend of mine where we go in and we channel my higher self, and I'll ask the questions and then she receives the message from her. And again, I'm using her as a tool to kind of bypass my planetary mind that will block those messages from coming into me, which sometimes I do get messages and sometimes I feel like I'm not sure, you know, if I'm getting the right messages. Well, anyway, I asked, you know, how will I get the money to develop this app? And my higher self, whose name is Aria, that's why I go by that name when I'm reading, Aria says, well, you'll do it through some kind of crowdfunding. And I said, okay, so should I launch a Kickstarter, you know, to develop the app with the goal of raising money to develop the app? And she said, no, you'll come up with some other project that will be some other creative project that will raise the money for your app. And then I was like, oh, I wonder what that'll be. And then she goes, no, just stop. you're not going to like get there by trying to get there. If you try to think of a way to come up with this creative project, then it won't come to you like that. It'll just come to you. And the only hint she would give me was that I'll really enjoy doing it, and it utilizes my creative skills and abilities. And so I shelved that piece of information so completely that I had 100% forgotten about it. I didn't even think of it. So then I suddenly got this idea for these cards, and I was so excited about it, and I just dove into it, as you might know if you've been following me and didn't hear from me for a month. And so just completed that, and it wasn't until I was all the way finished with it that I was really starting to think, I think these cards have the potential to do really well. That's what, it hit me. I was like, I could use this to develop the app. I could raise the money for my own app this way. And even then I didn't remember what I had been told by my higher self in that session until later. And it really blew me away because it came true, and it came true exactly the way she said it would, that I wouldn't be like searching for it, that it would just come to me. And I have to say that along the way, the entire process has truly been about learning to surrender my control over things and just going with the flow, creating and manifesting things with the energy of the archetypes of the tarot. Tell us a lot about how to do that, with the magician is the manifester, but the fool takes the leap. And then we have the empress that just attracts things to her. But then we have the emperor that just goes out and gets things done. We have the high priestess, that's our higher knowing that guides us along the way, and so forth. That's the journey of the fool through the major arcana. So that's really what this has been about. And when I'm going to continue to do readings on a weekly basis because partly just as a gift to everybody who's following me already, and then I want to build a larger audience so that when I'm able to launch the app, we have a place to tell people about it. But in light of all of that, first of all, every one of you, I know you have your own journeys. You come to my channel for different reasons. I do think from the feedback I get that most people are on kind of like some kind of divine love journey, awakening process where you really realize that you're here on the planet for doing something extraordinary. And something extraordinary might just be how you live your life, that you live your life with so much light and love, and you bring in like a higher way of living and being. But along the way, I think we all kind of have this urge and this desire to create and make something that's above and beyond where everybody's kind of been at on this planet for so long. We really are trying to, we're not just trying to, we really are creating the higher dimensional living, which is where we're all headed. We're all headed into a higher frequency where we're tuned into, our consciousness is tuned into our true divinity and the power of who we are as human beings, what we can really do and what we can really accomplish. Now, having said all of that, this introduction got quite long. I'm going to try to keep your readings short this week. They're going to be just a quick look at the week ahead. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, sharing my channel with others. And before I forget, the final thing is that my Kickstarter is doing really well. I'm at 70% funded, and I really would like to do about twice that many. If you are interested in these cards at all, please consider backing it. Share it with others if you know anybody else who might. And again, think about the fact that these cards are actually going to help bring in something else even bigger. So this is seed money to print a larger printing, which then will help me develop and publish the app. All right, so because of that, I'm going to have a special gift. Anybody who backs my campaign, who's a viewer of my YouTube channel, go ahead and you can just select the $66 package, which is the Oracle Trio of the 3 decks, and I will throw in for you the 10 planetary influencers, which is a $22 value, if you just message me back, and that way I'll make sure that you get the extra bonus without having to pay the next package up, which includes it. So just wanted to give you guys that, just my special gift to you for backing my campaign. Again, share this with others if you are so inclined, and we will talk to you soon. Stay tuned right now for your reading by your sign in the zodiac. Libra. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle the cards here a few times and we'll lay them out. This is the deck 1 and 2, which is the Nuance Oracle, the Picturesque Oracle. And together there are 72 cards. They're really great because if you've never used Lenormand before, but you would like to, or if you've never really even gotten into tarot card reading or any kind of divination tool, this is a really good beginner kind of deck to have. I'm not even a beginner and I love it. Having the words on the cards really helps for me. I find that they're just a cue that gets you going. They're that little piece that tricks your ego mind into taking the back seat and letting those messages come through from Spirit. So we'll take a look at your week ahead. I'm going to do a 5-card spread, and on the center card is the main card of what the rest will support and give us more details and information about. Lenormand is usually read in pairs, but you read many different cards in pairs. These two together, these two together, these two mirrored, these two mirrored. I may or may not remember to do all of that, but if you see some correlations when I'm doing the reading, you'll get your own meanings out of it, even if I don't say it. Okay, so we have stepping stones in the middle, which is talking about your process of arrival, and it really does say, it's the encouragement to keep on going and letting you know you are going somewhere. I think it's interesting that here the stepping stones disappear into the horizon. You don't really see where they end, but you can trust that they continue to go until they take you where you need to go. It's not a bridge to nowhere. Speaking of bridge, we have the bridge card here and clouds. So clouds are some kind of confusion, your thoughts. It can just be thoughts. But confusion, not seeing things clearly. There might be some hesitation, and I feel like hesitation also. By the way, the center card is read in paired with every single card in the spread. So there is some kind of confusion regarding this process, and you're wondering how it is you're supposed to maybe get there, or some way you're unsure of. And whichever way the dark side of the cloud is going toward, that's where the most confusion lies. And so all the confusion is lying across this whole entire spread. It feels like it's pretty strong. It also is the first, or the card out from this direction anyway. It's the first one and it's going in that direction. Okay, so we have the bridge. Really, I feel like is a problem-solving card. So if we have a problem here, this is the way to solve. But I feel like because the dark side of the clouds is toward the bridge, you're not even seeing clearly exactly how to make this happen. Perhaps so this is about connecting with someone. And bridging some kind of gap, reaching some kind of compromise. So it feels like, in a sense, there could be a person that is in some way key to getting where you're going, but there's some kind of gap. There's some kind of confusion, some misunderstanding there, and you're wanting to bridge that gap, but you don't know how. And so we're going to look at this side of the spread, and in fact, these two cards mirror each other. So the magnifying glass tells us that in order for you to solve this situation of, how to connect and reach and bridge that gap and share the resources you have to share, that you do need to get more information. There is something you're still not, yes, you know what? It's affirming that your confusion is well-founded, because you do need to get some more information. There's something else you need to know. And that, I feel like that information may be something that comes to you over time. You may find it within this week, or maybe this is prompting you to do the work, or whatever it is. But it's also, I feel like a lot of times these are things that come to us because we manifest them. You will manifest the answers to you, the details, that information that will help you know how to bridge this gap in order to keep moving forward in the process of whatever this is in your life for this week. And you is coming up here, or a woman. So it could be that there's more information. Maybe this woman brings in more information to you in some way, and that's why it comes up right here. Or maybe the information is about her for some of you, or this is you for some of you. So it's saying you will find that information, but regardless, there she is. So let's go ahead and take a look at a spirit animal for some more, I think, kind of like guidance. I did keep these cards separate from the deck. You can shuffle them. You can shuffle all 3 decks together. You can even shuffle the planetary influencers in with them. I just didn't do that for right now. Let's see, this one feels like it wants to come out. And we have the hummingbird, which is about enjoyment and being present and rapid response to things. So I kind of feel like that rapid response to things actually kind of comes into play with the rest of the hummingbird is more about just being, some beingness, lightness of being, lifting out of negativity, being resilient, being present, and enjoying things. But then we have this rapid response. And so I'm feeling like something will come to you. And when it does, be ready. It's like being on your toes, being ready to respond quickly in the right way, to whatever that is that will help you, give you that next piece, kind of like the next. It's really, these two really do go together, but kind of what this is this bridge is your next stepping stone. The stepping stone for me is this card that can talk about a very long process over time and all the different pieces that keep coming into your life and your experience. And you won't know until maybe months or years later how certain experiences were really stepping stones for you because you utilized them later in some, big accomplishment. But in the meantime, you just keep being present. That's the real key here. So I feel like there's really not anything you need to do so much as just being aware and being ready to act on whatever information is given right when you need it. All right, thanks guys. If you are interested in having a set of these cards, I would be fantastic. I would love to have your backing. And if you do, go ahead and just select the $66 package because I will give you guys this set of 10 planetary influencers for free as my gift to you if you just message me back and say, hey, I'm a viewer on your channel. I'll make sure to put that in. Basically, that just extends the early bird special to my viewers. And if you pair them with the Zodiac, they actually make a major arcana with the energy, so that's really cool. All right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing my channel with others.